And we're back. Welcome to Back to Killer Score, the podcast that covers cult classic films and talks about their composers, soundtracks, and generally rambles about other things. I'm your host, Dalton Morrison, and I have forgotten my usual preamble.
Hi, my name is Erin Murray. I am Dalton Morrison's favorite waifu.
That's true.
It's true. And I've forgotten my preamble, too.
Richard Eckert, Richard's Rad Voices, technical producer of the show, bestie and occasional pain in the ass to these two, and shameless self-promoter.
One who... a great start.
Reminds me of how, like, every episode of The Dollop, Dave comes up with a different thing to say about himself.
Yeah.
I, Dave Anthony, owner of a food processor.
I, Erin Murray, pyrotechnics enthusiast.
I, Richard Eckert, impressionist of the weird. Anyway, wow, I completely lost the plot there. But I am happy to announce that
much like this film we're gonna cover. Whoa!
Woo!
If you could only see the waveform. Wow.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, that's fun.
That's actually a lot of fun to watch that waveform.
I apologize in advance for everyone's ears.
You're
anyway.
I apologize in advance for editing, Richie.
Well, we hate that guy anyway. Anyway.
Richie's like, editing Richie's a buzzkill.
Yeah, he gets pissy all the time. Anyway, also, all those Western movies, 1958 was a long time ago, Rich. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway.
That's before my dad was born.
Anyway, you might notice our ensemble for tonight. We
got shirts.
We got a Black
of
Sabbath
the shirt variety.
What flag does our colors make?
Let
us know in the comments.
Is there a country that has a black, white, and orange flag?
I don't know. There's some like. There's got to be a flag for something that has those
the
colors.
Balkans? I don't know.
I don't know. It could be a country. Could be someone's made up pride colors. I don't freaking know.
Could be the old.
It's June.
It could be the old an old German flag.
Maybe like Prussian or something.
Yeah, like a Prussian flag or
Bavarian.
By the way, totally didn't intend for this episode to be in June. I was gonna do Bound. Happy Pride Month, everybody. Next June I'll be bringing Bound to the table. But for now, since I had been planning this...
That means you'll have to do the Pride Month pick.
Oh shit, this movie that I picked has nothing to do with Pride Month.
Oh well. Whoops.
Do you got one?
It would have to be my movie. I don't know if we'd have time to do it in June.
That's true. Anyway,
yeah.
So as per the shirts...
sorry. I hate to interrupt. This is important. Pitching, the reason we won't be able to probably do that by the end of the month, if any of you are coming to Too Many Games at the end of the month, we will be...
Ding, 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 ding.
Yes.
We'll be there.
We play that generic celebratory music, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the Price is Right
Price
theme.
is Right
It is?
music. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know, some generic celebratory music.
Anyway, Kevin
This is
McLeod,
how
love you, buddy.
children.
Yeah.
Anyway, we are wearing these particular band shirts because the musicians involved in these contributed to the soundtrack of today's subject, heavy metal.
And Dalton's and my shirts are a little bit of a stretch, but we'll take it.
Stevie Nicks is
Stevie
in the
Nicks.
soundtrack, so...
Yeah.
Look, I wanted a Blue Oyster Cult shirt. It's really hard to find Blue Oyster Cult merch.
I mean, mine does have Stevie Nicks on it.
Yeah.
You know what I was looking for at that store, right?
Diva?
Grand Funk Railroad.
Yeah, good luck finding that one.
Good luck finding a Grand Funk Railroad shirt.
I mean, Devo would have been cool
Easier.
too. Easier. Anyway, this has been a long time coming. I try to keep the intros brief as possible.
It's not gonna happen this time.
We don't.
Of course you don't. But for this one, this movie's got... It turns out that this movie is super dense, and its legacy could take up a documentary. So, I'm gonna be as brief as I can. Today's subject is 1981's heavy metal and adult animated anthology movie directed by Gerald Potterton, also known as the director of Yellow Submarine.
Cool.
It is mostly a Canadian production.
Oh, Canada. I don't know the rest of it. I'm not Canadian. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Written by Daniel Goldberg, who you might recognize for mainly comedies like Meatballs and Stripes.
No.
I know Stripes.
I don't
We
know
got-
either of those.
I've seen Stripes.
That's a good one.
Yeah, maybe we'll cover it sometime.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. We got a returning composer in the form of Elmer Bernstein.
My July episode will be Stripes because it's a military film.
Anyway, and as it is based on the God,
The
brain
magazine?
fart. As it is
That's-
based on the comic magazine of the same name, science fantasy type stuff. It is an anthology movie based on some of the most popular stories and art from said magazine.
And unlike another famous 80s anthology movie, I'm pretty sure this one didn't get anyone killed.
Jesus fucking Christ.
You are a piece of shit, but that was amazing.
That was a
That
good
was-
one.
that was good.
a good one.
Um,
Are you going to hit me if I said I think that one had a better framing device, though?
oh no, it absolutely has a better framing device.
Yeah.
The framing device for this movie is fucking stupid.
I
But
don't know if we haven't even screened it yet. And you're like, this is fucking stupid.
what the framing device is stupid.
It is. It is.
You got to try and tune out the framing device as much as you can. But
Holy shit,
We're not-
brainstorm here. You know how I feel like this would have worked?
what?
So, you've played Brutal Legend, right?
Love it.
So you know the beginning. Yeah, I know it's cheating comparing something that came out much later to something that came out before. I don't care. I think this is a good way to do it. So in Brutal Legend, it's presented as the gatefolds to a metal album that Jack Black found at a store that he wants to show you.
Oh. Just have somebody take the magazine and open it up.
Or even just be like guys at a record store be like, yeah, but if you heard this one, and then they open up a gatefold and like it's got like the art of the thing, zoom into it, boom, and just do that for like each one, like dudes talking music in a record store or something like that. Use it as the framing device for the music.
We haven't even started.
I don't know. I'm just thinking about the Canterbury Tales.
Well, I mean, this is
That's a
basically.
framing device.
It's like. This is stoner metalhead Canterbury Tales when you get down to it. But trivia
Am I having
time.
a fucking stroke?
Hey, how about I tell you about this?
Okay.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, how about I?
Sure.
Anyway, as I said, released in 1981, it was based on the very violence and sex heavy metal magazine, which in turn,
Boobs.
Don't tune in for this one, kids.
Yeah, do not.
This isn't one for the kids, and I will.
We'll put a link in the description for the link to go watch Bluey.
All right. So yeah, based on heavy metal, which in turn was just an American counterpart to, I can't speak French. Metal hurlant. Yes.
Okay.
The
H is always silent.
I'm just laughing at the idea of our description just having a Disney Plus link to Bluey.
Jesus fucking Christ. Can I do my
Sponsored by
job?
Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Can I do my job?
Yeah.
Anyway.
No.
I watch Candle Show.
Shut the fuck up! Shut up! Anyway. So this magazine has a huge legacy to its name, despite being known mainly for, well, jugs. For instance, the likes of Harlan Ellison, Richard Corbin, and Dan O'Bannon, who is known for Return of the Living Dead, wrote stories and did art for it. And
writing the trashiest shit in general.
Yeah.
Seriously, if you ever read the original... Oh, wait, no, that was... Who was the guy who split with Romero and got the Return of the Living Dead stuff?
Don't know.
The guy who was behind the Living Dead franchise.
Time for me to pull out my phone.
Because Return of the Living Dead was first a novel he wrote that was incredibly different and really trashy.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. It's like really different from the movie, too.
Well, I'll probably need that for my notes when
yeah, Dan O'Bannon.
It was Dan O'Bannon.
Yeah, if the original, the Dan O'Bannon Return of the Living Dead book that predates the movie, completely different, really dark and disturbing. That's actually the first instance of, you know that thing in fiction where they're like, oh, if a pregnant woman gets bitten by a zombie, will the baby come out as a zombie?
That's where that came from.
Yeah, first actually appeared in that.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, that's saying something, because the movie's pretty fucking bleak, too, let's be real. But
it's got a comedy edge, though.
Comedy edge, trust me, we'll get to that. It is my pick for July.
Yes.
I love that movie. But I digress. A lot of really talented people worked on this, including an artist so important that he will come up numerous times, Mobius.
Is that the guy who mobs all over the place?
No, it's Morbius.
Oh, right. That's the guy who morbs all over the place. I always get those two mixed up.
You know full well who I'm talking about, and you still decided to derail the discussion.
Yes.
God damn it.
That was a good bit. You have to give me that.
Yeah. Super long story short, this magazine hosted not only American artists, but a huge school of Franco-Belgian comic artists.
The Belgians I can condone. I don't know about the French.
But if any of you are fans of either Barbarella or Valerian, chances are it popped up in heavy metal at one point. And the latter was actually the subject of a disappointingly mediocre Luc Besson movie.
Yeah. Did you guys ever think about how valerian sounds like a prescription drug?
Valerian's actually a plant.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well,
Valerian root.
It does sound like a prescription medication.
It does.
It does sound like a diet pill.
To me, it sounds like an insomnia medication.
Oh, yeah.
For sleep.
So...
Actually, I've heard valerian root can be used for sleep.
Oh my god, I'm a genius.
Heavy metal.
I might be wrong. It's been a while since I've looked into herbalism or anything.
Please take valerian.
God damn it. So, Mobius is strong contender for one of the most prolific and important people to this whole genre and to this movie in particular, to the point where one of his comics, Arzak, was supposed to be the framing device to this movie. Inevitably, it would have been a better framing device, but due to circumstances likely involving finances,
you're telling me an actual framing device would have been better than, oh crap, we can't use the actual framing device we wanted to use. Quick, throw something in at the last minute and tie it into one of the stories inexplicably.
Yeah. That does happen, by the way.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Okay,
But yeah, Mobius said, no, do not use Arzak for this. I'm not giving you permission. So, they created the Eldritch Abomination artifact thing, the Lochnar, and the character of Tarna, who we will discuss at length later.
Yeah.
The concepts themselves are cool.
I mean, it could be worse. It could have been like that time EC Comics did an unauthorized Bradbury story in one of their comics, and Ray Bradbury was just like,
Bro,
Huh? What? I didn't give you guys the permission. And then they were like, here's some money. Can you write for us sometime? Sure, but next time ask me before using my work. What is wrong with you?
Yeah. But, yeah, that whole thing got scrapped. And so writers Len Bloom and Daniel Goldberg created Tarna and the Lochnar to serve as sort of central pieces of the movie. Tarna in particular is the chick that you see
on the cover with
on
the
the cover.
sword and whatever the fuck that thing is.
Yeah, that thing.
It's like a pterodactyl.
One of my favorite bands.
It looks like a dinosaur, but it looks like the one voiced by Judith Barcy in The Land Before Time.
Oh my god, it looks like Ducky.
Ducky, that's the name.
Fun fact: one of my favorite bands, Castle Rat. Their tour shirt for the most recent tour referenced the cover to heavy metal.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, instead of like the weird pterodactyl, it's the Rat Queen riding a like giant bat rat thing.
That's cool.
Yeah.
This was a huge collaborative effort, mainly, as I said, from Canadian animation studios.
Okay.
Different studios worked on the individual segments.
Yeah, a lot of these old animated flicks.
Had like multiple studios.
Yeah, or artists collabing. One of the weirdest ones that I want to cover sometime on the podcast is Fire and Ice.
Yeah. That's a fun one.
Yeah, which had Bakshi doing art for it, and like...
He's the director.
Yeah, and backgrounds by... all the background works was by Kincaid, of all people.
Yeah.
Alright then.
Yeah, that guy whose painting's probably in your mom's house or your doctor's office.
Yeah, or just on a calendar in your grandparents' kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The painter of light.
And it's notable for a lot of things. One, minimal use of early CG. Two, the aforementioned eclectic animation styles. And three, a lot of use of rotoscoping, most notably in the opening segments of the movie. Now, as for the score, as I've said before, previous Killer score subject Elmer Bernstein did the incidental music. He also did music for The Black Cauldron, as well as Ghostbusters, Meatballs, The Magnificent Seven, To Kill a Mockingbird, The Blues Brothers, An American Werewolf in London, and way too many other movies for me to cover.
Oh my god, what is this, 6 Degrees of John Landis today?
I know,
yeah.
with American Werewolf in London and
Blues
The Twilight
Brothers.
Zone.
Yeah.
Blues Brothers.
Yeah. So...
See you next Tuesday.
Yep.
So, obviously, real good eclectic score for it, but eclipsing said music far and away is the licensed soundtrack, which was done by some of the most important and seminal acts of the hard rock scene and new wave scenes of the late 70s and early 80s. Said acts include Sammy Hagar, Devo, Blue Oyster Cult, Riggs, Cheap Trick, Don Felder, Donald Fagen, Nazareth, Journey, Grand Funk Railroad, Trust, Black Sabbath, and Stevie Nicks.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put Stevie Nicks in either the new wave or the hard rock category, at least not during this time period.
This is one of the heavier solo tracks she did, though.
Okay.
You know the song Blue Lamp?
Yes.
This was recorded for this movie.
Gotcha.
I wouldn't say that's like heavy, but that's... Blue Lamp is,
Yeah.
heavy adjacent.
I wouldn't put like Black Sabbath and Stevie Nicks on the same level, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I know. It's eclectic, but in a good way.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's already kind of weird having Donald Fagen in there with Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Devo.
Yeah.
So,
What's next, B-52s?
iconic as this was, however, The soundtrack actually prevented the movie from having a VHS release because of the parasitic licensing fees that would come for that.
That'll happen for like years. It was like really hard to get certain things out there. Like, for example, it was. You'll notice like a lot of old TV shows, the box sets will keep the licensed music in, but on streaming they'll cut out the licensed music,
and it's just awkward.
Like the Wonder Years.
Yeah, or really infamous one. I don't know if it's been changed. I doubt it has. They use like incidental generic music for the Married with Children theme instead of the Frank Sinatra song.
Oh, yeah.
Ew.
Yeah,
Also,
it's bad.
Also, I noticed this. So the TV show Charmed, if anyone remembers that, uses a cover of How Soon Is Now
Yeah.
as its theme. But on streaming and I think on re-release, they couldn't get the cover because of licensing rights or something. Or either that or just Morrissey said no. That's more likely.
It is Morrissey.
Yeah.
But,
I don't know, he does like money.
He does like money.
But he's also famously vindictive.
That is true.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe he got mad that for a whole generation more people knew the Charm cover than the original.
Yeah,
Smiths
Love
one.
Spit Love, which was actually, I think it was actually done for The Craft.
It's a solid cover.
It is a solid cover.
It's a good one. I like the increased tempo in it.
Yeah, it's faster than the original.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Just enough.
It's tiny. Very, very tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe 5 beats per minute.
Yeah.
Eventually, however, they did release it on VHS in 1995.
Did it ever get a Laserdisc release?
And Laserdisc in 1996. That was in my notes.
What about Betamax?
That was not in my notes.
Ah.
Look, this intro's already guaranteed to be 30 minutes long, at least.
Did it ever get an HD DVD release?
Dalton says as I'm looking at the fucking 4K Blu-ray thing.
Okay, 4K is a modern format, but I'm saying it back in the day, back in the mid 2000s, there was another
HD,
format war
Ultraviolet.
between Blu-ray and HD DVD. HD DVD went the way of Betamax versus VHS, even though it was technically the superior product, just like Betamax versus VHS. But Blu-ray won out, and I believe it was also for the same reason that Beta lost out to VHS.
What?
Porn.
Right.
I'm not even joking.
I know. I know that part.
Look it up. Look up Betamax VHS. The whole porn thing. It's interesting.
Anywho. Man,
We cover a movie that is violence and boobs.
I mean...
It's not inappropriate.
Look, nah, it's not. It's very poop. It's just very boob heavy.
I
But
thought you said poop heavy
It's
for a
not
second.
unusual to be titillated by this. Do-do-do-do-do.
heavy metal. Anyway, there's actually a surprising amount of behind-the-scenes recording footage for this movie.
Oh.
The music in particular. Easy enough to find Stevie Nicks and her backup singers doing Blue Lamp, for instance. But I digress. Blue Oyster Cult actually wrote an original song for this movie called Vengeance, parentheses, The Pact. But it was replaced with Veteran of the Psychic Wars thanks to the former song's lyrics having way too many spoilers for Tarna. So,
Why didn't they just put it in Tarna then?
we both know how many story structure issues this has. Trust me. Anyway, both would actually end up being released on their 1981 studio album Fire of Unknown Origin.
Fantastic record. If you haven't listened to it, give it a shot.
This one's the Blue Oyster Cult aficionado.
Yeah, I do like that. Fire of Unknown Origin, probably their best record. Although, you know, people love Agents of Fortune. I mean, that's where
Yeah.
the big one comes from.
Yeah.
More cowbell. I really hope this audio ends up being usable.
I'm
anyway,
sure it will be.
It looks all right.
Yeah, it looks good to me.
Anyway, legacy of this movie. Obviously, given the use of adult animation, the film was absolutely mired with controversy for its violent and sexually explicit imagery, and it received mixed reviews from critics for the inconsistent quality of the segments and uneven story, unsurprisingly.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
But it was a relative commercial success, grossing $20.1 million against a $9.3 million budget.
Yeah, it's a solid success. Mm-hmm. It's not like early Friday the 13th numbers where they were pulling like $50 million off a $1 million budget.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
And of course, the movie gained a cult following thanks to late night screenings on cable, and even critics like Leonard Maltin and Gene Siskel praised the film for its tone and its animation.
I could see that.
And especially the music. One thing that even haters of this movie will tell you is
Great
that...
soundtrack.
Oh, the soundtrack kicks ass.
Yeah.
But... yeah, everyone's got their favorites in terms of segments.
Yep.
Of the segments, probably the most acclaimed ones are the short yet horrifyingly atmospheric B-17.
I'm a fan of that one.
And Den, the Conan on Viagra story wherein John Candy voices the titular character.
What the fuck?
I'm gonna blow your mind. He actually doesn't do bad.
Don't remember, kids.
I'm just imagining John Candy dressed as Conan, and it's not the best image in my mind.
Okay, kids. Now, as we said, you shouldn't watch this movie. Instead, John Candy made something for you. Go watch Camp Candy.
You fucking monster! You monster!
Go look up the Camp Candy theme song. It's the best cartoon theme song of all time.
I'm mad enough that they introduced me to the theme song of that. That wasn't music.
You know what else you should listen to? Go on YouTube, go listen to Tiny Tim Rocks.
Yes, the best rock album you haven't heard.
Best rock album you haven't heard yet.
Do you want to hear a 26-minute cover of Rebel Yell?
I hate the two of you.
Involving ukuleles.
Anyway.
I thought you were gonna die when I first started playing.
The worst part is we were driving and I really had to pee.
You were just baffled by Tiny Tim Rebel Yell.
I was laughing my ass off and trying not to piss my pants.
Because, by the way, Richie, he's doing the Tiny Tim yowls and noises while he's singing Billy Idol's Rebel Yell. With a Rebel Yell!
How dare you violate my audio like that? Look at that shit. Look at that. Okay, moving on.
Also watch Camp Blood.
Yeah?
Heavy metal. We were talking about the two most atmospheric ones. Harry Canyon, my personal favorite segment, ended up inspiring both Blade Runner and The Fifth Element, thanks to its imagery of a futuristic New York, and in a sort of full circle fashion, it was actually inspired by the short comic from Mobius, The Long Tomorrow.
This movie also inspired a real-life thing that was kind of cringe. Oh, do I have to be the one to say it? Alright. You know the opening sequence with the car?
Yep, never mind. I know, I remember. We don't talk about him. We don't talk about that dickhead.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Good.
It was a SpaceX thing.
Oh, ew.
They launched a car into space like in
Yeah.
this movie.
That's just a waste of time, money, and resources.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and it causes atmospheric debris. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Elon.
Yeah, what we needed was more space trash.
More space junk.
Anywho, so as I've stated before, Tarna, the cover character, was an original creation for this movie, not based on anything in the comics before, but she proved exceedingly popular to the point where she got her own stuff in future comics.
Yeah, she's probably the most popular segment in this movie.
Yeah. And yeah, as flawed as this movie is, and it is flawed, it has a hell of a legacy to its name. A lot of important animators worked on it, including, weirdly enough, Ed, and Eddie's creator, Danny Antonucci.
That's right. Yeah, this was one of the early things he worked on.
Yes.
Huh.
It's funny how that works. Canada. Anyway, a sequel, Heavy Metal 2000, was released in, to negative reviews.
What was it with
80s
animated
movies?
sequels getting labeled 2000 and coming out to mix the negative reviews?
I mean, there's also Blues Brothers 2000.
Which sucks.
And Fantasia 2000.
That was alright.
Yeah.
It's got a Penn and Teller segment.
It does.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's a weird movie.
It's just a weird movie. It's okay. It's just weird.
Maybe we'll cover it sometime. Sound off in the comments if you want us to cover Fantasia 2000. I haven't seen it.
Oh, and don't forget, we got 12 requests on sale.
Yeah. If you're a Disney fan and you want us to cover Fantasia 2000, you really want to hear me talk about how much I like Penn Jillette, go ahead. Give me money to talk about Penn Jillette.
And weirdly enough, there was a short-lived live-action
we
sci-fi show, Franco-Belgian live-action show, but in English, called Metal Hurlant. Metal Hurlant, the original.
Like the magazine, yeah.
Like the original magazine. And it ran for 12 episodes from 2012 to 2014.
That's more recent than I would have thought.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how Sci-Fi Channel had that weird short-lived Dune series.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah,
I forgot about that.
you would think that heavy metal was just kind of a niche thing that only total nerds know, and it stopped, but it's still going.
Yeah, a lot of animators reference it too. There's one
Famously,
Matt Stone and Trey Parker have an entire episode of South Park that's an extended reference to this movie.
that would be the episode Major Boobage,
Yes.
wherein
Of
Kenny gets high on
Cat piss.
on the fumes, and he hallucinates chasing a buxom woman in a fantasy world much like the one here.
And I think they either used the Sammy Hagar song from the movie,
No.
or they do a knockoff
Don
of it.
Felder
The Don Felder, yeah, or
taking a ride.
yeah, that or they do a knockoff of it.
No, it was the original.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It was. South Park gets a lot of weird licensed music, believe it or not.
Yeah, if Matt and Trey can't get a license thing, then they just do a real. One thing I'll give them credit for: they're great in the music department at making good pastiches.
Oh,
Oh,
always.
yeah.
Like,
They're two of the most musically gifted people in that field.
I know those guys hate the Good Times with Weapons episode, but I randomly get the fake anime theme for that
Let's
episode.
fighting love.
I randomly get that stuck in my head all the time.
I love the animation in
Yeah.
that too.
Protect my balls.
It's actually decently translated Japanese.
Yeah. I mean, they like to do that because it was either Matt or Trey who studied Japanese in college, so they actually know Japanese.
Oh my god, that makes so much sense.
We
now.
are
Because-
very much sorry.
In Cannibal the Musical, the Native American characters were played by Japanese exchange students.
And they only spoke in Japanese.
Yeah.
Yeah, because another one of slipping things past the censor. The Tally episode, Okama Game Spare. Okama is Japanese slang for a gay man.
So, but yeah, it's a magnet for parodies and homages. But weirdly enough, heavy metal has its own production company. The publication actually unveiled the creation of their own production company at San Diego Comic-Con in 2022. Among the projects they revealed is the in the works would be a live-action Tarna. There was test reel footage of it, but it has since been lost.
Oh.
Maybe we'll do something with it eventually.
And the animation for both this movie and Watership Down were heavily homaged in the music video for The Strokes' At the Door.
Oh, yeah.
So, I brought this to the table for a couple of reasons. One, this is a major influence for
a lot of things.
A lot of things, including some stuff that I've done.
Like a
I've
D&D
run
campaign?
Yeah.
One of my D&D campaigns is basically a mix between this and prior Killer Score subject Rock and Roll.
Yeah.
And another reason I brought it to the table is because I thought it would be a good conversation simulator. Because this movie's a fucking mess.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
It's all over the place in terms of quality. And I'm fascinated, Erin, to see
My takes.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see if you're going to love it, you're going to hate it, if you're going to be like me and be like, I don't know what I make of this movie.
Like, I will say...
I feel like I'm going to be stuck between, like... I made a post on Blue Sky about this ages ago. About being stuck between going, that's misogynistic, and that booty, though.
You're going to have that a lot.
Yeah.
Because this movie, barring the Tarna segment, is pretty fucking misogynistic. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, great.
No female characters behave rationally in this.
That's why I love the B-17 sequence, because since they didn't put any women in it, it can't be misogynistic.
I mean, Tarna's alright.
I know, it's a low bar, but it's good.
It's a really low
It's
bar.
a really low bar.
Also, you could argue that having a film or a piece that has no women is misogynistic in and of itself.
But that is a whole can of worms that I did not want to open necessarily. But
Then why did you pick this movie?
yeah, that's a good argument.
This is gonna be like a couple of the animes that we did where I'm just like ranting about how misogynistic the film is.
Anyway. You got any
Anyway.
more trivia before we pop in there?
No.
Okay.
We've done almost 40 minutes of trivia.
Yeah.
We've all done almost 40 minutes of trivia. Erin, I'm at least hoping you like the music, because that's good.
I'm sure
That's
she'll
probably
like
the
the
only thing
music.
I'm gonna like by the sound of it.
Ouch.
Wow. But I'm intrigued to see your reaction and to see how it ended up informing the game that you're in.
Okay.
Because
She's going in with very high expectations, as you could hear.
So, Erin, how about as the uninitiated, you read the box?
Sure.
Hold
Wait,
on.
did she read it last time? No, you read it last time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah. He read it last time. I need new glasses, I swear to Christ.
Do you want me to read it?
No, I got it. I just gotta hold it.
Or do you want my mic?
I'll hold this. I'll hold this for you.
No, that's way too close. I got it. I have two hands. Based on the fantastical illustrated magazine Heavy Metal, producer Ivan Reitman enlists the help of some of Hollywood's animation masters to create the otherworldly tale of a glowing green orb from outer space that spreads destruction throughout the galaxy. Only when encountered... Why is this print so goddamn small? Only when encountered by its one true enemy, to whom it is inexplicably drawn... Oh, God. Will goodness prevail throughout the universe? Rich and lavishly drawn, the vignettes of the orb's dark victories include the character voices of John Candy and Harold Ramis, along with a pounding soundtrack by Black Sabbath, Blue Oyster Cult, Cheap Trick, Devo, Donald Fagen, Don Felder, Grand Funk Railroad, Sammy Hagar, Journey, Nazareth, Stevie Nicks, Riggs, and Trust. Why does this look like... This orb looks like that weird smiley face emoji that you saw back in, like, 2009 everywhere.
You know what that is? That's actually a spaceship.
Yeah, I can tell, but it looks like that smiley face emoji you saw everywhere back in, like, 2009.
That'll be a image for editing Richie to put up. Anyway.
It kind of looks like the Smiling Friends logo.
It does!
Anyway.
Now let's go out there and make everybody smile!
Yay!
Let's rock.
Okay.
And we're back.
Okay. So we just got back from watching Heavy Metal. As I alluded to in the beginning, this movie is my guilty pleasure.
This is a collection of animated drawings and what we would call animation.
Yeah.
Okay, Daryl.
That was put together in a stylistic storytelling aspect that is known as a anthology.
Can I speak, please?
Yes.
Okay. So, this movie is uneven, all over the place, and fueled by what I could only describe as a mix of horniness and every drug imaginable. And I like it for those reasons. But rest assured, I will point to what my favorite segments are and what my least favorite are. This is one I like for 70% aesthetic reasons, to be honest. You know, the animation style, the backgrounds, and do I even need to say the soundtrack kicks ass?
Yeah.
But we're not here for my nostalgia. We are here for
the uninitiated, therefore being myself. This movie's a hot fucking mess. I'm not sure how I would describe it.
Existing.
It does exist. I can say we did have a good time watching it, but we were also riffing it like it's MST3K throughout most of the movie.
Yeah, kind of have to.
Yeah, because this movie cannot be taken seriously.
Do you notice the only time we weren't cracking jokes, though, was B-17?
Yeah, we were just talking about the zombies.
Yeah, we were just talking about how much B-17 kicks ass.
Yeah, so the music is good. I did like the music. The animation is hit or miss.
Bless you.
You know, fun fact about the animation.
I have the plague.
Fun fact about the animation, if you pay attention in the Harry Canyon segment, you'll notice that the girl's boobs get inexplicably bigger towards the end.
They do, yeah.
And that's just because the animator said he got bored and he wanted to see if anyone would notice the animation.
Oh, yeah, that's a thing.
Oh, my God.
That's real. That actually
I feel
happened.
like that happened in multiple like, things, in multiple segments. Because I'm just like, why is okay, you know what? I'm not going to ask.
This movie is the definition of she-breasted boobily.
Yeah.
So, in the interest... There's no spoiler segment for this one because who fucking cares?
It's heavy metal.
But
it's heavy metal. It's an anthology. You can't really give spoilers for a movie that's like 6 parts of short films.
I figure we can... There are 2 things I want to do. One, discuss the score.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the other, point by point, we can say what our favorite segments are.
Yeah.
And we can critique them one by one.
Okay.
Yeah, just, you know.
Alright, let me pull it up just because I'm going to need a little refresher myself.
Yeah, I'm going to need to know the names of these segments.
Alright, so, well, starting off, I guess let's just ask Erin, the uninitiated. Erin, what was your favorite segment?
Favorite segment?
It's got to be the last one.
Tarna.
Well, it's either that or B-17. I did really like B-17. I wish it had been longer.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we start off with Soft Landing, which is the
intro with
intro with the spaceship.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's just kind of meh.
The music kicks ass.
The music is great, don't get me wrong. It's just...
The animation of the Corvette flying into the atmosphere, that's cool.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool.
Going at re-entry speeds.
Yeah, I had some nitpicks with that, but...
Yeah.
Who... In this one, I mean, we're already playing fast and loose, you know?
Yeah.
So, okay. But, like, everyone, what do we think about Soft Landing? Okay?
Okay.
It's okay.
There's not much to
The
talk
highlight
about.
The highlight of it for me was Radar Rider by Riggs.
Underrated track. It's a
good
song.
Yeah.
Like, it's a good tone setter.
Then it leads directly into Grimaldi, which is the framing story.
Which
No.
Weak.
It's bad.
We've already. Long story short, every story is one where the Eldritch Abomination orb, the Lochnar, was involved, and for some reason, this orb kills the astronaut in the beginning and decides to telepathically convey every single story.
To an 11-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I don't know why.
Okay, then we've got Harry Canyon, the sci-fi
Neo
neo.
I did not like that one.
Nah,
No.
not a fan.
Okay. Hear me out. Just hear me out. Here we go. I will say that I like the backgrounds and the art that it cribs from The Long Tomorrow.
Yeah.
You should absolutely read The Long Tomorrow if you are any sort of Blade Runner fan.
The backgrounds are good in that segment. It has the best songs of all the segments.
Yeah.
It's got True Companion. It's got
Lamp.
Blue Lamp.
Blue Lamp. It's got Veteran of the Psychic Wars.
Yeah, easily my favorite Blue Oyster Cult song. Yeah, I don't know why it's so loose.
What the hell?
Yeah, see, it always wants to fall forward like that.
It's so weird because when I first got it, I didn't have that problem. I just have to mess around with the arm a bit.
That's weird.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, then we have
Is it cat hair on this?
Den.
I like that all right.
It's all right.
It's...
Okay.
It's basically a horny 12-year-old goes throughout space, bangs a couple women, and saves the day.
And it's a Conan knockoff, you know.
Yeah.
It's somebody, I forget what critic it was, but they very accurately described it as Conan on Viagra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What surprised me most about it was that John Candy voiced both the inner monologue of his younger Earth self and the barbarian, and I'd say, for as wonky as the voice direction is, he did a decent job. I thought he did a decent job.
I'm just not a fan of the voice acting in this movie.
I was gonna say,
That's fair.
I think he managed
A lot of it feels
to,
either overacting or just wooden. Not emoting.
I think he rose above the acting, though, because, the direction is not great.
Yeah. Outside the directing, I feel like the voice doesn't match the character in any way, shape, or form. Doesn't match the 12-year-old boy, doesn't match Den when he's, big hulking man.
Yeah.
Yeah. The music's pretty good in that segment. I like the lighting and the colors, even if it makes me wonder why he changes skin tone so much, because that's just what it comes off as. It's weird. Yeah, it's weird. Pretty. Can't even say good fight sequences because no.
No.
They're a little lame.
Yeah.
They are lame.
Is this still Den or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dead. Okay. What
Captain
else?
Stern?
No.
Weakest.
By far. Although I will say that there were some line deliveries that got a chuckle out of me.
Yeah, and it's got that awesome Cheap Trick song in it.
That's true.
It has my favorite song in the soundtrack, Reach Out.
Yeah. Probably the best track on.
Get this.
That.
It's basically a heavy metal Scooby-Doo chase.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think that kind of makes it weaker.
Yeah. There's no substance to it, really.
Yeah. It's... Captain Stern is basically a proto-Zap Brannigan from Futurama.
Yeah.
Just worse.
Just way, way worse.
Also, I feel like Futurama did take some things from this. That's one thing I will give it, because some of the character designs There is a creature somewhere in this, I can't remember which segment, that looks like a monster from Futurama.
I think it was Den, actually.
Yeah, I
When
think
you
it
were like,
was
that looks
Den.
like
It was
something
Den.
from Futurama. So then there was, funny enough, the next segment partially exists on some things as an animatic. It isn't in what we watched because it's usually not included back in because it never got finished. It was going to connect to Captain Stern. It was going to be called Neverwhere Land. And apparently it was set to Pink Floyd's Time.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I did hear about that.
Yeah.
It just never got finished.
Yeah.
But
So we can't really count that one.
It basically just follows the Lochnar falling into the water of a planet and the growth and decay of the planet over time.
yeah.
Which, appropriate, you know.
Which brings us to B-17.
Why? Okay, here's my question though. Why didn't you cut something like Harry Canyon and put in like what sounds like would have been a lot cooler of a segment? Like I'm just imagining like the visuals in my head of seeing like mountains crumble to Roger Waters like dulcet tones and stuff like that. You know, you missed the starting gun as a mountain's just like falling apart. Like
Veteran of the Psychic Wars, though.
yeah, but like it's time. It's one of the greatest tracks ever. Like
Off of Dark Side of the Moon.
I'm biased. I freaking love the Roger Waters era, Pink Floyd, best Floyd era. I know some people are gonna be like, "Oh, Sid Barrett was experimental and ahead of his time." Like, yeah, but Roger Waters was able to bridge the gap of being experimental while still being commercially viable in a really good way. So next we have B-17, best sequence by far.
Yeah.
Quality-wise,
I feel
absolutely.
like B-17 should have been a movie in and of itself.
Exactly. That's a common complaint you hear from people who watch this movie. That and they think it's too short. And I agree with basically everything. Part of me likes how short and sweet it is, but part of me is like, why wasn't the sequence longer? Because it's so good.
Good use of the one song it had, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I wanted to see more of what happened. Like, did he get out of that situation with the zombies on the island? Did he get killed? I want to know more, and it just leaves unanswered questions.
Yeah.
But, you know, quality over quantity in that specific case.
Yeah. Also, one thing I thought was always kind of weird watching this was like, if I'm calling it the orb, I'm sorry. If the orb is relaying all these like horrific stories to this 11-year-old, is he including the sexcapades?
I think so.
Probably.
That's just gross.
It's the sum of all evil.
Sum of all evil.
Ugh, God.
I think we broke Erin.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But B-17's the best. The Don Felder song is good. It goes to show you that for some reason the Eagles are always better when they're not working together.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Between Don Felder and Don Henley.
Mm-hmm.
I'd argue that Don Felder is
He wrote Hotel California.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he's the best one.
Probably not a great person because, like, there's that weird dichotomy, and it's so true. People that make the most aggressive, heavy-ass music are the nicest people in the world. People that make radio soft rock are the biggest psychopaths on the planet.
Mike Love?
Yeah. Yeah. And look at the Eagles. All of those guys suck so bad.
Yeah, either it's like, I think we called this the soft rock rule once. How a lot of people who make like radio friendly soft rock are either insane, have a lot of issues, or are psychopaths.
Shit, I mean, look at Fleetwood Mac too.
Yeah, look at all.
Lindsey Buckingham in particular.
Yeah.
I was also gonna say this came out in 1981. This was like around the time of the height of Stevie Nicks' cocaine addiction.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot to unpack there.
That segues, I believe, into So Beautiful and So Dangerous, which I'd argue it's tied with Captain Stern as the weakest.
I think I actually disagree.
Wait, really?
It doesn't overstay its welcome. I find the robot and the girl hooking up funny.
It was funny. I'll give it that.
You know what?
And there's a
John
lot of
Candy
gags
did
in
better
there.
as the robot.
He did do better as the robot, but honestly, I feel like that's better as like this is a fun sex comedy kind of running, not like a movie, but like this is a fun sex comedy thing. Like it's got dumb jokes and whatever.
I like how
she asks the robot if he's circumcised. Like
She wants a Jewish wedding.
with the robot.
He fucks her so good she immediately wants to marry the robot. Like,
Well, no, he proposes to her.
yeah, and she's like, I don't know, and he's like, yeah, I fucked you real good, and then she's like, yeah, that's a good point.
yeah, and I'm
Wave goodbye to our monetization, everybody.
yeah. I was just gonna say something, but it was just gonna make it even worse.
Yeah, you know what? Go ahead. We're going.
The robot's a fucking vibrator.
It is. It is.
Again,
I like the robot.
don't show this to the kids at home, people.
Yeah, I feel like the
Plus,
robot
I'm
is
gonna
just
be-
a metaphor for a vibrator.
Plus, I'm gonna be that guy. The girl in the segment was hot.
Okay.
I'm
Do you
gonna
want to be
that one.
total?
I'm
Do you
gonna
want
be that
to?
one.
Do you want to be total pigs and just name the hottest ones?
Sure.
Why not, right? Aaron, you can
You
get
two
in
have
on
fun.
it too.
Aaron,
I
you're
feel-
gay as shit.
Huh?
Aaron, you're gay as shit. Come on.
Come on.
Yeah, I'm just like... I have a type, and that is not necessarily always my type.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's fair. You go first, I guess.
I'm surprised you weren't picking the girl from that segment, though. She's a redhead.
Yeah, it's the... Something about her face just didn't feel...
Bit of a butterface. Just
Yeah.
a little bit.
Disagree, but is it Tarna for you, I guess?
It would have to be Tarna.
That's
yeah.
fair.
That's
That's
fair.
It's Tarna.
I would go with...
Oh, what about Evil Queen? What about the Evil Queen from the
I was
Dead?
going to say Evil Queen
With the page boy cut.
from...
I mean, she does have the page boy cup, but she was rocking the page boy look.
I can't unsee it. Oh, hold on.
I'm sorry, that ruined it for me.
She's got the Porter Robinson cut.
I thought Catherine was cute.
Yeah.
The scientist that
The blonde chick, yeah.
yeah.
From the Den sequence, yeah.
The one I hate to steal the Doug Walker joke, but it was the one thing that was objectively funny.
Hmm.
The one who was rescued by John Candy of Gore. You know, because...
Yeah. So, yeah, So Beautiful, So Dangerous, and then,
Tarna.
Tarna.
Yeah.
In hindsight, okay, I know I said that I liked Harry Canyon from a stylistic standpoint, but if I had to pick a favorite one overall that I would watch for what story there is, I'd say Tarna.
I'd say B-17.
Yeah, I would also say B-17.
Because the thing with Tarna is that it gave me vertigo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one segment with the rotoscope
Flying,
landscape.
it's rough.
Yeah, like
It's
my eyes are very
rough.
sensitive to vertigo and like weird scenes like that. So
But once
like,
it
let
gets
me-
out of
let me
that,
know.
though...
Yeah,
I-
once it gets out of that, yeah.
I don't even get sensitive to that kind of stuff, and I was sensitive to it.
This one endures roller coasters on a daily... Well, not daily. Weekly, though.
God, I wish it was a daily basis.
But you get what I'm saying. But here's the thing with Tarn.
For me, it's like the flashing lights and the moving and the colors and the... It basically looked like it was glitching in and out.
Yeah.
For me, it felt like staring into a fire alarm that, like, in a commercial building that's just flashing. That's what it felt like to me.
So, once it gets out of that, though, I thought it probably had the best action scenes.
I'd say so, yeah.
Like that fight with the zombie cyborg dude.
Yeah.
Like,
Actually, I'm kind of surprised Aaron's pick for hottest wasn't the girl from the Harry Canyon sequence.
I just didn't like that sequence, period.
Yeah, I thought you might have found her most attractive, though.
I mean,
I couldn't, like, literally, that sequence was just like, I just watched my father get murdered. Now I'm gonna sleep with the first man I meet.
yeah, even I, like,
Yeah.
Even as a dumb teenager, I was like,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah.
Like, I saw this when I was, like, in the middle of high school, and I was like, why?
Yeah, honestly, that felt like something the Game of Thrones writers would have done.
Yeah, I saw the first time I saw this. I believe I was in the throes of a bad upper respiratory infection.
Oh yeah, you were like, you said you were like
In a fever
bed.
dream.
Yeah, I watched some weird stuff when I was in that upper, because like I didn't have anything else to do, so I was just like flipping on the TV on late night channels and movie channels, watching movies and shit like that, because I couldn't sleep properly because I was at that level of sick where you're just kind of in a daze and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know I said I wasn't gonna get into it earlier, but that whole thing with the chick from Harry Canyon is indicative of the fact that women aren't really well written in this movie.
Yeah, no,
They really are not. Like,
Except for arguably Tarna.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
arguably.
arguably.
Because like, the reason I like her so
Problem
much,
with Sarna, she's just kind of a plot device.
Yeah.
I do like how the animation does manage to give her some varied expression. Though.
Yeah.
Like when
Yeah.
like when her steed gets hurt and she
Daryl.
we're
Daryl,
getting
yeah.
to that. We are getting to that.
Okay.
Okay. We have to get to that eventually.
You want to get to Daryl?
In a second.
Okay.
But, like,
Okay.
I have to adjust the audio levels for that.
Other than that, I have to stand like 3 feet away from you with a mic.
Or she can hold the mic while I do it.
All right.
I just
So
have to, like, all the way over
before
here.
we begin, we decided that the pterodactyl chicken reptile
you decided.
thing. No, I said we.
You guys decided this?
No. No, like that we decided it would be named Daryl. Well, you did.
Yeah.
And then
Dalton decided
Look
it would
at
be Daryl.
look at this schmuck trying to take credit for my amazing ideas.
Hi, Bowie.
Hey,
But-
Well,
bud.
you're not going to
No.
want to be around to
you're
hear
getting
this.
you're getting credit for the highlight of the evening.
Thank you.
And so it is that in the interest of filling the gaps in the dialogue, Dalton decided to captivate us with scintillating dialogue from the point of view of
The flying
Daryl.
bird Daryl.
So obviously, my thought process here was, you got to have like an inner voice for this creature. Tarna is a silent protagonist, so and so is her steed. But it makes you wonder, what would this sweet little boy, this little rubber chicken thing that she flies around on, what would he sound like? And I would like to bring from the voice acting gallery of myself what I believe that this creature sounds like. Now, she's going to hold it back because there might be some audio issues. So, yes. Hey, it's me, Daryl. I love you, Ma. Gotta watch out. They got the rope there. Oh, Lord. Oh, they're shooting me something fierce, Ma. Oh, it's sticking in my neck. I don't like it. I'm bleeding something fierce. Oh, Daryl. That is Daryl. That is Daryl. That is the
I would
character
like
Daryl.
to. I'd like
the
to
rubber chicken. The flying rubber chicken.
I'd like to congratulate you. Somehow, you did not once peak it. Somehow.
That is what we call vocal control.
Well, I also had it like 4 feet away from him.
That also helped.
That also helped. I also adjusted the levels a little bit.
Good call. Good call.
Good call.
I've been.
I'm gonna sound like Mel Blanc in some of those old Looney Tunes things where they clearly recorded him outside of the room.
Yeah. So, he was the king of screaming. But, real quick, let's talk about the score. I know the music gets talked about a lot. Like,
yeah.
the soundtrack gets talked a lot about. But I thought the incidental music was good.
Yeah.
Especially...
The incidental music was very good.
like, the orchestral stuff, especially in B-17.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where it where it has to take a break from the licensed stuff and take a way more...
Yeah, because after the gunfight, until the next segment, it's entirely the Bernstein score. And it's really good.
So good. There's a reason why Bernstein was on so much music, and it's because he could he was a versatile guy who could tackle a lot of genres.
It's got energy, it's bombastic, it's suspenseful. It just works so well for that cool-ass zombie sequence.
I especially like when the music crescendos and you get that shot of the dude getting chewed apart in the turret.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah. Slam it against the glass with the
red.
The bloody fingerprints. It looks awesome.
It looks awesome. It sounds awesome. The score in Den, I thought, was a decent little Indiana Jones-ish.
Yeah, it's a good heroic fantasy score.
Yeah.
And, again, I know we have different opinions about Harry Canyon, but there was some decent jazzy backdrops here and there in between all the licensed songs. I think the problem with Harry Canyon is that it has my least favorite narrative, but my favorite setting and my favorite songs in the in the soundtrack.
So, fun fact about the B-17 segment.
Yes.
So it was worked on because like different studios actually worked on the different segments.
Single segment, yeah. Please tell me that was the one Danny Antonucci did.
So I don't know, but Atkinson Film Arts, so they don't exist anymore. They're a Canadian animation studio. So he might have worked on it, because isn't Antonucci Canadian?
Yes.
Okay.
Italian-Canadian, to be precise.
So, they're probably best known for producing the first 2 Care Bears TV specials.
See, wait.
Okay, then.
Erin. I want to remind you, the composer for Rock and Roll also was the composer for Care Bears.
Richie, what the fuck?
What?
They also did Harry Canyon, apparently.
Yeah.
So, no, the reason I say Richie, what the fuck, is because when we did... oh, wow, I'm peeking. I'm sorry.
Nah, that was my fault. I'm adjusting.
Okay. Is that... How the fuck does this and Rock and Roll, two films that are tied, kind of tied into your R-rated D&D campaign, have to do with fucking Care Bears?
Canada. Canada.
To tie it back into earlier, blame Canada.
Oh my god.
But seriously,
can we talk about the fact that of all the South Park songs to win at the Oscars, it was fucking Blame Canada?
Yeah. Hey, Wibble.
Hey, Wibble.
Which is funny, because they even specifically designed Satan's song, which was a parody of the Disney Renaissance songs, like the I Want songs of the Disney Renaissance era.
Yeah.
They were like, yeah, that's the one we'll design to be the award bait winning song. And no, it ended up being Blame Canada.
Wibble, come here. Oh. I wanted that fluffy boy. Oh well.
Yeah, he's got his own things to do.
He's a little distracted.
He's got to do taxes.
So, okay, favorite song from the licensed soundtrack. I'm actually surprised, Erin, you didn't default to Blue Lamp.
I mean, I do like that song. I just kind of was like half paying attention during the sequence it was playing.
Yeah, it's kind of half in the background anyway.
It's like half in the background in that part. What's a level?
I'm gonna go with Reach Out.
Okay.
By Cheap Trick.
I'm gonna go Veteran of the Psychic Wars.
Good one.
Yeah.
It's a
I
good
especially like that being used during the beginning of Harry Canyon when you see like the guy just melt.
Yeah.
It like sticks in my mind, the visual marriage.
Good. Yeah. Radar Rider by
Radar Rider was good.
Was good. That was the one with the car.
Yeah, I do remember that. Sorry, I'm just looking through these.
You're good.
Reach Out. I did really like Reach Out.
It elevated the weakest segment.
I really like the usage of the mob rules. With like the barbarian tribe massacring all the people.
Yeah.
It's a Black Sabbath. Like,
that one was a fucking banger.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I mean, it's Dio era Black Sabbath.
And
yeah.
Do you want to get crucified?
Yes.
With me?
Dio era Black Sabbath is better than Ozzy Black Sabbath.
We will die on the hill together.
I will absolutely die on that hill.
Our time has come.
Like, look, War Pigs, Iron Man, Paranoid, all classics. I don't care. I think the Mob Rules and Fairies Wear Boots are better tracks than those.
Thank you. But
Dio, can you hear me? I'm lost and so alone.
So,
shit, can we cover the Pick of Destiny for this?
Probably. I don't think I've seen it.
Oh,
yes!
Shit.
Yes!
I think I've seen like 2 scenes from it.
Do you want to see Jack Black get high with Sasquatch?
Sure.
Alright, but yeah, like, say what you will about Captain Stern, but that whole reach out sequence was funny.
Yeah, that's fun.
Like,
yeah.
And, you know, Eugene Levy was doing his best smarmy douche voice for that.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny, because, like, Eugene Levy was always, you know, the dad in everything.
Yeah.
So hearing him be a
monster, yeah,
was there was some humor in that.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
So, Erin, if nothing else, I hope you enjoyed.
I enjoyed the music. I didn't really enjoy the storytelling.
Oh yeah, the
animation was hit or miss.
The story was like, it's like tertiary at best.
Yeah.
What the hell? I just looked up Heavy Metal 2000 and it automatically sounds like I'd enjoy it more.
It's not good.
But it's got Michael Ironside and Billy Idol.
Those are the best parts.
And it's written by Kevin Eastman?
Trust me. Just trust me.
I don't believe you. I do not believe
You're gonna watch it out of spite now.
I'm gonna watch it out of spite. The soundtrack might be better too, but let's see. Oh! MDFMK?
Pantera.
ICP? Oh, Queens of the Stone Age?
System of a Down.
Machine Head? Full Devil Jack. Billy Idol. Okay. Bauhaus?
Damn, okay.
You know what? Maybe I'll revisit it. I don't know.
System of a Down, too.
Yeah, I just said System of a Down.
I do like Stone Temple Pilots.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, that's heavy metal. I hope you at least see where all the inspiration came from now.
Yeah, I do see it.
It certainly is a feature presentation that we covered on this channel.
Oh, sorry.
It gave us Daryl.
It gave us Daryl.
It gave us Daryl.
It gave us... I had fun watching these with you, though. I felt like this might have been our best conversation piece in a bit.
Yeah, yes, yeah.
That and the prior discussion that Erin facilitated
in our last episode
with Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Tucker and Dale was a great watch.
Yeah. If you don't know what that is, go watch the last video.
Yes, please do. Great episode.
Don't know where heavy metal is on streaming. That's why I got the copy.
Yeah, you can find it on Amazon.
Okay, yeah. Watch it on Amazon. It's probably on Tubi. Everything's on Tubi.
Like Tubi or Freevee or something.
Yeah, you can find everything.
If nothing else...
you can rent it on Prime.
Yeah, you can rent it on most services like Prime and YouTube and stuff.
Here's the thing. I like when we get analytical here, but sometimes, after a week like this, sometimes you just want to take your buds and see something...
That's kind of stupid.
Something that's aesthetically pleasing, yet not complicated.
Yeah, I was fully prepared to go on a rant, and I'm just like, I'm just too tired.
I mean...
Aaron's like, I sure watched a movie.
I'm just like, yeah, I sure watched a movie. Yeah, it objectifies women, and it's not great, but
No.
It could be way worse.
It could be worse.
Could be worse.
Let's face it.
Aaron's like, could you at least objectify the women in a way that's more titillating for me? Am I wrong, though?
Fair.
You can't.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
You see, if I did this, Tarna would have very visible muscles.
Or a much fatter ass.
True. Hips.
Wait, I think that's why the Evil Queen was the best, because she had a little.
She did have some cake to her.
She had a little. She had some meat on her bones.
That is true.
Like, she wasn't just a beanpole with
Boobs.
Yeah.
boobs. Like,
She wasn't a Yonan. Like, okay, and this movie can't even do like the Yonan Vasquez thing where you commit to an art style so hard that it wraps around into stylistic, you know?
Yeah.
well, yeah, different studios and all.
Can you believe that people actually, like, when he was in the indie comic scene early on, like, accused him of all the problems they could have had with Johnny the Homicidal Maniac? He actually got letters complaining that he was promoting anorexia.
That's
Of
how
all
they're.
of all the things you could have taken out of that, that's what you got out of that.
That's how they're drawn, people.
The comic about the guy who murders people over the slightest provocation, who routinely considers killing himself.
Okay, and the people's problems is how the characters are drawn.
Everyone's drawn so skinny. It's unrealistic standards.
It's almost
Oh my
as
God.
if that was the point. Okay.
It's stylistic.
It's
Anyway.
his whole side. We didn't get shit from that about Invader Zim.
No, we got a lot about invaders.
Like,
Can I just say, I love the fact that whenever Yonan Vasquez had to fight the censors in the network for Invader Zim, he would show up to every single meeting. And he would listen to every complaint. And he would come in, he would comb his hair nicely, he would wear a full suit.
but he still looked like Yonan Vasquez. Though.
Yeah, the piercings and stuff, but he would comb his hair and stuff, got the suit on. And they would be like, I think this is bad because of this. Yeah, but it's funny. And then somebody else would continue. They would say their whole thing. He would not interrupt them. He would let them speak. Yeah, but it's funny. And that was his response to every single complaint.
You know what?
What?
I respect the hustle.
Yeah.
That is the objective response there.
Yeah, because, like, there's two ways to handle that I admire. There's the Yonan Vasquez approach, which is just being a cheeky little bastard and whittling them down to the point that they're just like,
Fine.
okay,
Do it.
good. Or you can be maliciously compliant, which is what Matt Stone and Trey Parker do.
Yeah.
I respect both moves.
Yeah.
Um,
Like, literally, they would be like, okay, but if we do it this way, that's okay. Okay. You're the censors.
Well, yeah. So, this movie, it's a hot mess, but I enjoy its vibes, and I enjoyed bringing Erin into it, no matter how deeply it confused her.
Yeah.
It is a film that exists.
Yeah, it exists. I'll just leave it at that. It's a film that exists. Is it good? No. Is it bad? Maybe.
I mean,
It has its merits.
if you're an animator, maybe throw this on. Maybe you'll get an idea from it.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll
make a full version of B-17.
maybe you'll throw it on in the background. Maybe it'll inspire some art from you while you're doing the art thing.
Or if you're a metalhead.
Yeah, if you're a metalhead and you want to throw something on in the background at a party while you and your friends are just hanging out shooting the shit.
Or this is great drunk.
Riffing material.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just get your friends, get a couple beers, blast blast the volume whenever the soundtrack bits are on.
Get in a fierce debate with your other metalhead friends about whether Dio era or Ozzy era Black Sabbath is better.
Their advice, not mine.
Yes.
But, Erin, thank you for braving the squalls with us. Mm-hmm. I do believe that you should be rewarded with the movie ball.
I gotta ask Matt. That reminds me. I gotta ask Matt. I gotta text him tomorrow and be like, Dio era Black Sabbath or Ozzy era Black Sabbath.
Well, Chris, my brother, I know you're an Ozzy guy, so I guess I'll have to explain myself when I see you in person next time.
Look, man, I'm not gonna argue about Ozzy's solo career. I think that's fantastic. Mr. Crowley kicks ass. I fucking love that song.
Crazy Train?
Overrated. I like it, but it's good. Like I said, solo era Ozzy hits. I'm probably more Mr. Crowley guy. I love that intro. But yeah, no.
Yeah, heavy metal.
Heavy metal.
A movie. Well. So,
sure.
Erin, the floor is yours. What's our next movie?
So our next movie is
Did you
it's
decide?
a simple. Yes, I did decide.
Thank goodness.
No, I decided a while ago.
Okay.
Come on.
The way you said had me worried.
I was trying to think of a way of how to introduce the film.
Let her cook. Let her cook.
So our next film is a step away from the horror and the sci-fi and the fantasy films we've been doing lately. This film will bring us to post-war Japan. It's a nice little romantic film, directed by filmmaking legend Akira Kurosawa. I stumbled on his name, I apologize. But it's a film that Dalton and I both enjoy.
Yes. I think it's underrated.
It's very underrated in Kurosawa's filmography. It's one of his earlier films, and we think you guys should give it a watch. I believe it's streaming on either HBO Max or on Criterion. Can you double check that?
Yes. Who knows? We might have to buy a copy, but we'll figure it out. It is currently on Plex. That's the
Whatever
only
Plex
thing I'm
is.
saying it on.
Okay, it was on HBO Max a while ago,
and you can find it on the Internet Archive.
Criterion.
And, it's on Criterion Channel.
Yeah, Criterion Channel, which we have.
As with most of Kurosawa.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the film that I'm choosing for our next pick is One Wonderful Sunday. See you next time.
Later.
That was some of the most fun I've had in an episode.